Well, Shabbat Shalom. Hope you've had a good week, and it's great to celebrate Shabbat with you. So I'm going to invite Joni to light the Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Well, let's sing Hine Matov, how good it is for all of us to be here together. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, ya la 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 la. Hine matov, ya la 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 la. Hine matov umanayim, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Hine matov umanayim, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Hine matov umanayim, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Hine matov umanayim, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. My understanding is that while it may not be happening right now, all through this week, there are going to be lots of thunderstorms. They can be a little bit scary for a lot of people, but they can also be inspiring. And in fact, the psalmist who wrote Psalm 29, traditionally Psalm 29 is sung right before Shabbat. And the psalmist who wrote this noticed that the power of God seems especially potent and present during thunderstorms. So if there is a thunderstorm, think about God's presence being manifest in that. And if there isn't, you can imagine that. So I'm gonna sing this psalm, and then I'll read it in Hebrew. Read it in English. And this is on 18 or 19 in the prayer book, or 136 and 137. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu Ladonai b'nei Elim, Havu Ladonai kavod va'oz, Havu Ladonai kavod shemo, Ishtachavu Ladonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim, Adonai Almayim Rabim, Kol Adonai Bakoach, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, Vayeshaber Adonai et Arzer Havanon, Vayarkideim Kmo Egel Levanon V'Sirion, Kmo Van Re'emim, Kol Adonai Chotzev Labotesh, Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yecholel Hayalot, Vayechesov Yeharot, Uvhei Chalo Kulo, Omer Kavod Adonai Lamabul Yashav, Vayeshev Adonai Melech Leolam, Adonai Oz Le'amo Yitain, Adonai Yevarech et Amo Vashalom, et Amo, Adonai Yevarech et Amo Vashalom. The Psalm of David, a Ascribe to Adonai, O you mighty ones. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name. Bow down to Adonai, majestic in holiness. The voice of Adonai is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. Adonai over the mighty waters. The voice of Adonai is power. The voice of Adonai is majesty. The voice of Adonai breaks cedars. Adonai shatters the cedars of Lebanon. God makes Lebanon skip like a calf, Sirion like a young wild ox. The voice of Adonai kindles flames of fire. The voice of Adonai convulses the wilderness. Adonai convulses the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of Adonai causes hinds to calve and strips forests bare. While in God's temple, all say, glory. Adonai sat enthroned at the flood. God sits enthroned, sovereign forever. May God grant this strength to God's people. May Adonai bestow on God's people well-being, shalom. Incidentally, as an aside, some people translate wild ox as unicorn. So in the King James Version, it says unicorn. So if that's the case, maybe the psalmist is saying unicorns are real. I would like to think they are. But in any event, as I mentioned, try to take some time to enjoy a thunderstorm. Let's come together as a community and bless God with the Baruch Hu, which we're going to find on 28 or 146. Everybody who's here, please stand up and join with me. Yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la la Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamivovo Ramach Baruch Adonai Hamivorach Le'olam Vavemed Hamivorach Le'olam Vavemed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. Page 31 or 149, a meditation on the passage of time. We think about this as we also thank God for all of creation, especially the stars, the moon, the sun, the passage of time, all of the universe, all of nature. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Page 32 or 150. We thank God for the gift of Torah and God's love for us. Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Havta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shachbeinu u'v'kumbeinu Nasiach b'chukevecha V'nishmach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha li'olam v'gamed Ki heim chayenu v'yorech yameinu v'yorech yameinu uvahem nehegeh yomam v'layla yomam v'layla v'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu liyam olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amamo Yisrael. Next page, 33 or 151, a meditation on this gift of Torah. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? We focus on the oneness of God who's present here, right now. And we cover our eyes as we sing together the first 6 words in Hebrew of the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Together in English, Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God. Adonai is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. 36 or 154, the commandment to love God via Hafta. V'ahavta mara et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol miodecha v'hayumu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levademecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'demerech uv'shochbecha uv'gumecha uv'shartam li'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'hineinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'she'aremecha l'man tizkevru b'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Together in English, 37 or 155, the translation. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you're tired or you're rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Page 40 or 158, the Song of Freedom, Michamocha. Ay la 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 la, ay la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, la ya la, ya la 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 my, ya la 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 la, ay la la la, ya la la my, mi chamocha, ba'elim adomonai. Mi kamochama nedar bakom bodesh no ratahilot o say fala malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam azeh eli anu ve'amarumu Adonai imloch leolam va'ed v'nemar kifada Adonai et Yaakov ugialo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael v'mel Ayala la 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 yay la 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 yala la 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 yay la la ayala la 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 yay la 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 yay la yay la 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 yay la yay la 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 yay la 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 my la my la. Who is like you, O God, among all the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming all of us. A prayer for peace. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. 43 or 161. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. V'al Yerushalayim V'al kol amo, v'al Yerushalayim shalom. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael. We recognize that this time, this Shabbat, is a covenant. It's a symbol of the connection that we have with God, and a time for prayer, a time for being together with people we love, and a time for getting close to God and having a holy rest. So let's sing together 44 or 162. Please join with me, V'shamru. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam berit olam, beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, otili avav Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti liyom olam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim v'et haaretz, uvayom hashavi'i shavavat Vayinafash, lai 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 lamai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, la la lai lai lamai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 la la lai, yai lai lamai lai. The thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. We come now to the tefillah, the individual prayer. If you have your prayer book, you can be guided by it. You will find that on page 155 to 167 or 273 to 287. And if 285 rather, if you don't have it, or even if you do, include those prayers that come from your heart and direct them to God. Stand up for this. If you know the direction faced east, And when you've concluded your prayer, please be seated. If you're still praying, continue silently. If you've completed your prayer, join with me. Yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai lai love me lai yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 ya la lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 ya la lai 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 yai lai yai la 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 lai yai lai la la lai yai lai 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 yai lai yai la la lai yai lai la la lai yai lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai la 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 lai 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 yai lai lai yai lamai. Well, the Torah reading for today comes from a book, Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy. It's from chapter 15. And we're going to look at the middle of verse 7 and the beginning of verse 8. And it says in Hebrew, Lo te'ametz et levavcha, v'lo tikpotz et yadecha me'achicha hevyon, ki fatoach tiftach et yadcha lo. And we translate that, do not let your heart get hard, and do not clench your hand away from your brother who is in desperate need. Rather, definitely open up your hand for him. And I was thinking about clenched fists. I think if you imagine the clenched fist, one of the things that it symbolizes is holding things back. And especially if there's a coin or money in your hand, your clenched fists are holding them. you're not going to be able to give them. If your heart is softer, and if you don't clench your fist, you open up your hands and you give the coin or you give the gift. Um, and I think this is not only the case for money, it could be the case for well being. Um, when you, at the end of the service, when you do the blessing, you open up your hands and you can do like this. That's a traditional thing that the priests do, or you can put your hands on the shoulders or the head and you give the blessing out. Open hands give can give money, but they can also give a blessing. And if you haven't hardened your heart, they can even give the gift of your heart, the gift of your love. It is also the case that clenched fists, if you think about it, it's not only that they're holding stuff, but they're violent. You know, a clenched fist, you can hit somebody with it. The open hand says, "Here I am." The open hand says, "I don't have any weapons. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm right here." And in fact, what you can do, I mean, we can't do it now because of COVID, you can shake somebody's hand or you can give them a hug with your hands. So rather than having a fist of violence, we have the open hands that present friendship or love or caring and peace. Now, some of you will remember even before COVID was an issue, I was concerned about flu. So I started doing, rather than shaking hands, I started doing the fist bump. And I still think that was a smart thing to do. But you know, I was thinking about it, the fist isn't so great. The fist does represent holding back and a little bit of violence, although it's kind of playful when you do this. But I think there may be another way to do it, open hand, and then maybe like this. The back of your hands are okay. Well, I don't like that. Something like that. But I think it'd be good to use your hands to show friendship and not have them clenched like this. Now, some of you, I don't know whether this is yoga or not, but I do know that psychologists use it. What they recommend you do to learn how to relax is what's called progressive muscle relaxation. Each of the different muscles of your body, you clench them, either the group, your feet, your calves, your thighs, going all the way up, and including your hands. You clench and then you let go and relax. By clenching, you feel that tension and then you let go. So clenching is okay to teach you that you shouldn't be clenching. You should be relaxing the muscles of your body. So when we're open-handed, when we open up our hands, and we can practice doing this, just open up your hands. We're symbolizing that we want to give gifts of tzedakah, gifts of blessing. We also are representing that we want peace among people and we want friendship. And we're also saying we want to achieve with our body a feeling of peace. And ideally, that will nurture within us feelings of mental and emotional peace and open us up to being ready to pray and being ready to get close to God. Shabbat Shalom. Well, now we're going to say prayers of health and healing. For those that are in our hearts, I especially want to remember the following people: our friends Mark and Danny and Judy, and my teacher, Rabbi Steve, and my friend Lisa, and especially my friend Steve, who's having a difficult time, and my clients, all of my clients really, but especially Beverly and Stephanie and Tony, and everybody else who needs a Misha Berach prayer for health and healing. We're going to find this prayer on page 253 or 371, and please hold the names and the faces of those you love in your heart as we sing Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor Haveracha Le'imarotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Aleinu, Mikor HaBaracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Let's all stand up for the Aleinu, where we praise God together as one. And we're going to find this in our books on page 282 or 586 at the bottom of the page. Please stand up and join with me. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latei gdula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goraleinu kechol hamonam. Vanachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. We've just praised the sovereign of the universe in Hebrew. We've proclaimed the greatness of the Creator who set us apart from other families of the earth, giving the Jewish people a destiny unique among the nations. For that reason, we've bent our knees and we've bowed, acknowledging the supreme sovereign, the Holy One of blessing. We hope so much that people will come together as one and their hearts will be lifted up to God. And we express this hope with the Ne'emar, which we'll find on 287 or 591. The Ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, yiyeh Adonai yemechad, u'shemo echad. Before we go to the Mourner's Kaddish, I want to mention, I forgot on our Misha Beirach list, also my friend John Wells, our friend John, he's got a sprained ankle, and we hope he recovers real quick. We're going to turn to the Mourner's Kaddish. You'll find this on page 294. We especially want to remember the following people: Paul Grenier, David Tomchin, Rose Goldstein, Louis Gross, Dora Barshart, Miriam Saperstein, and our friend Mark Sosnick. And if there's anybody else that you wish to remember, keep their names in your heart. And we also remember all of those who are nameless and have nobody to say Kaddish for them, so we say Kaddish for them as well. 294, 598, let's stand up for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'yolamad divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'gala u'vizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'la'olamei olamaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yidaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bi'olama v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, bring peace to all Israel, bring peace to all people, and let us say amen. Bim bum bim 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 bum bim 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 bum bim bum bim 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 bum bim 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 bum. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim, bum. Bim, 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 bum. Bim, 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 bum. We're going to turn now to the Kiddush. I hope you have wine. And so take your wine glass in hand. If you have the book, it's on 5 or 123, in which we thank God for the gift of Shabbat, and we celebrate Shabbat joyously by drinking wine. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'revneshi ki hu yom techila l'mikrahei kodesh zeyicher litziyat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol havamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Well, I'm going to go and wash my hands before having some challah. And, I was just thinking, we also open our hands to receive gifts. And by opening our hands, we're saying, God, we're ready to receive what gift you're willing to give us. And we especially do it when we are ready to take food or to take drink. So as we wash our hands, we also prepare ourselves to receive gifts from God. Now I'm going to go wash my hands. I hope you will as well. The blessing in English is, thank you, dear God, for giving us the holy mitzvah of washing our hands. And I hope you have challah and take it in hand. And if not, you can watch me with this challah. Hamotzi lech haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Final blessing. I'll say the words in Hebrew. If you have somebody you want to bless, put your hands on their shoulder or head, or send the blessing out and repeat the words after me. And or otherwise, you can just listen carefully and receive the blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and watch over you. Ya'er Adonai Panav Elecha V'yichuneka. May God's face light up towards you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai
Adonai,
panav
Panav,
elecha
Elecha,
v'yasem
V'yasem,
lecha
Lecha,
shalom.
Shabbat,
May God's face
light up.
be lifted up towards you, and may God give you peace. Ken Yehi Ratzon, so may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom. Everybody have a great Shabbat and a great week. God willing, we'll see you next week. Shabbat Shalom.